Hello, I've rewired a console on the TARDIS, so you're listening to the Fandomain. Do you want to come with me? Because if you do, I should warn you, you're going to see all sorts of things. Ghosts from the past, aliens from the future, the day the Earth died in a ball of flame. It won't be quiet, it won't be safe, and it won't be calm. But I tell you what it will be, the trip of a lifetime. I'm the Doctor, by the way. Run for your life!
Excuse me for that interruption. I've got control back now. Indeed, welcome to the Fandomain, August 2015. And this is a Preston Comic Con special. Later in the episode will be my interview with Nathalie Cox, but first I'll be speaking about how amazing Preston Comic Con was. On Saturday the 1st of August. Now, as you have probably gathered by now, my Doctor is Christopher Eccleston's Doctor. Of course, if you know me, then obviously, I went as the Ninth Doctor. And whilst I was there, I saw plenty of other Doctors. There were plenty of David Tennants, there were plenty of Matt Smiths. No Peter Capaldi, strangely enough. There were quite a few Seventh Doctors. Mainly because Sylvester McCoy was one of the guests at the con. But I was in two minds about my Doctor. Because I went as the Ninth, I was constantly, consciously looking around to see if I could find anyone else who was as the Ninth. And I was a little bit bummed that there weren't many people as the Ninth, but also sort of made me a bit more distinctive as well. There was definitely one other person I saw, and I met, and of course had a photo with, who was dressed as the Ninth Doctor, and I was really jealous of him because he had hair that matched Eccleston's more closely. My hair's a little bit like Tennant crossed with Smith, so it's a bit more than Ninth regeneration. But anyway, overall the con was brilliant. Atmosphere, the buzz was amazing, and it was in Preston as well. Now, I hadn't been to Preston before, so I had no idea really what to expect. But it is the land of Wallace and Gromit, so to speak, because Nick Park, the creator of Wallace and Gromit, that's his neck of the woods. And it was only after I got there I realised, oh wait a minute, I could have come as Wallace or something here. But I don't have any green jumpers on hand, so yeah, never mind. But yeah, the guests there were quite good as well. I mean, of course, I did want to grab interviews with a couple of people, like I mentioned in the previous episode, but I only managed to grab an interview with Nathalie Cox, which was great. That was brilliant, but tried to ask Ian White about it, and it seemed that he said he wasn't at liberty to do so. You know, there was some unsolicited legal wranglings that meant he couldn't do an interview, which was a bummer. But he was such a lovely fella to talk to, and like I say. Literally and genuinely a person to look up to. Yeah, and because he couldn't answer anything like an interview, you know, I ended up just really enthusing to him about you know, his roles as the Predators and the upcoming NECA figures based on his Predators as well. So I did manage to bang the drum for NECA for him. So, and hopefully he'll be really impressed by the quality of NECA as well. I'm sort of gushing over NECA now, mainly because there were plenty of figures available at the stalls at the Comic Con that I really wanted but couldn't really get because of reasons lacking monies. Otherwise, it was a good experience. I mean, and as well as meeting Nathalie Cox and Ian White, I also met Adam Brown, who played one of the dwarves in the Hobbit films, Ori, and who I found out at the con is going to be in the next Pirates of the Caribbean film. So that was a real surprise, and I'm really excited for that. Can't wait to see what kind of role he plays. I mean, when I was talking to him, I asked him a question that is the kind of question you'll hear in my interview with Nathalie Cox, which is coming shortly, don't worry. I asked him about, you know, is there any other franchise you'd love to be in, that sort of thing. And I think he more or less said straight away Star Wars, and I was like, yeah, totally, I could see you in Star Wars, and I said to him, I could see you as that kind of plucky pilot, like Alan Tudyk in Firefly, but he'd never seen Firefly, so he didn't know what he was talking about. Little bit embarrassing, but never mind. And like I say, Sylvester McCoy was there, the Seventh Doctor, and also Radagast the Brown in the Hobbit films. And I met him after his panel and asked for a photo with him. And after he took the photo, he said, "Right, that'll be £10, please." And they were trying to see if they could get £10 out of people who took a selfie with him. And since somebody else took the photo of us, or tried to take the photo of us, the image didn't actually capture, which was a bit annoying, but never mind. Yeah, as I said to him, since somebody else took the photo, it technically isn't a selfie. And he just responded with, picky. So, but yeah, he was a nice fella to meet as well, and he's really got a cheeky sense of humour. He's got like a saucy seaside postcard sense of humour, like Ronnie Barker, and it would have easily fit in with Barker and Corbett, and but yeah. As well as them, also met an actress called Sarah Louise Madison, who played one of the Weeping Angels, or who played a Weeping Angel in several of the Weeping Angel episodes of Doctor Who. And you immediately kind of think, whilst you're watching Doctor Who, that they've just made several different models that have different positions, unless it's like the Time of Angels / Flesh of Stone, where you actually see them moving, and then it's someone. Then it's someone in makeup, in costume. And you think, well, it makes more sense, even if they're still, it makes more sense to have someone in makeup / costume, because then they don't have to create loads of different models for just one shot. It's just someone changing position, holding that position, And she was lovely to meet as well. Now I got a photo with her, obviously, because I was as a doctor, but unfortunately the photo came out a bit blurry. I mean, this is kind of what happens when you put your trust in other people, but you know what, I'd rather do that than try taking it myself, do the quote-unquote selfie thing, and God help me if I ever get a selfie stick. Anyway, and if I do, you have permission to use it as a lightsaber on me. But what else? Oh, speaking of being the Doctor and other Doctors as well, there seem to be quite a few Doctors, like I said earlier, David Tennant's, Matt Smith, and there was also, and someone also had a full-size TARDIS to take photos with and everything, and I had a few photos with that TARDIS, absolutely brilliant, So yeah, there was all sorts going on. One of the highlights of the con was definitely the Doctor Who / Hobbit panel with Sylvester McCoy, Sarah Louise Madison, and Adam Brown. And it was absolutely hilarious. One of the first questions from the audience that Sylvester McCoy got was, I've heard a rumour that you can play the spoons, is that true? And he responded immediately by whipping out a couple of spoons and saying, I nicked these from the restaurant last night, just in case. But yeah, and he started playing the spoons on quite a few people, including the person who asked him, can he play the spoons? And like I say, he's got this saucy sense of humour. So one of his comments that raised a cheeky giggle was, yes, I spoon a lot of people, or some words to that effect. And so, hey, this is going out at 6 o'clock, this isn't suitable. but no, it was really fun, and hopefully get to another con when I can. This is, for me personally, apart from Thought Bubble last year, which was purely, mainly comic / art based convention, Preston Comic Con was definitely a con that's for everything, film, TV, literature, etc. So no, I was really, really happy to go there. This is one of the first major cons I've been to in the UK, I mean, Kristen and I, we have dreams of going to San Diego Comic Con, obviously, but I mean, she's already been to the 2011 one, I think, or 2012 one. I think it's the 2011 one, by accident. But hopefully we can go together, in the near future, and it's just definitely won't be queuing for 12 hours to see a few panels where they don't actually reveal any information at all. Just some of the stories I've heard about, just can be a bit worrying, but at the same time, like I mentioned earlier, it's the atmosphere, it's the buzz, it's being with the crowds that like yourself, and sooner or later it will happen. Now, what else? Oh, of course, I picked up a few business cards from the con, and some of them artists, but This one in particular is a campaign called I Cosplay, which is an anti-bullying campaign. As their statement says, it's helping cosplayers and costumers have fun, feel comfortable, safe and confident, which I was very attracted to the idea. What they did at Comic Con was they hosted like a cosplay competition, so if you signed up they would judge the best costumes based on categories and everything. But like anyone who cosplays will tell you, it's just about having fun, you know? It's not too much about how accurate it is, or how the wrong shade of blue can ruin Captain Jack Harkness or whatever. It's just about putting something together based on your favourite characters that you love. So, if you want to know more about iCosplay in particular, their Twitter is at iCosplay_ABC. And they've got a Facebook group as well. And they've also got a website, i-cosplay.co.uk. So I would say go check them out and have a look. And if you're interested, you know, see if you can contribute to the campaign, because it definitely seems like a very worthy thing. And yeah, it's worldwide. So even if you're listening to this across the oceans, I would say go have a look. So that's iCosplay. And as for the artists I came across 3 in particular. These are the ones that definitely caught my eye. First of all, there's an artist called Nick Harrigan, who's a freelancer. Here's a website, nickharriganartwork, all one word, .com. And what I saw there were very intricate, very detailed, grayscale, you know, like charcoal drawings that he did. And if you have a look at his website, you can see he does colour artwork as well. They're very good. They're like blown up versions of like official promo images. So, like on his business card, it's a version of Hugh Laurie from House that he's done, and it just looks incredible. I mean, obviously I can't really show you through voice alone, you know. I mean, I would say definitely check him out. He does commissions as well. His portfolio crosses a whole range of, you know, comic characters, sci-fi characters, you know, customary popular TV shows like I say, House and Breaking Bad. And yeah, so if you want some really nice realism, I would recommend having a look at Nick Harrigan. Next up is a fella called Graham Pierce, and he's a freelance writer / illustrator and creator of a thing called Sergeant Mike Battle. I've never heard of this, sorry Graham, but the stuff I saw on his table when I went past, he's done all these really crazy mashups of pop culture characters. Like on his business card, for instance, is R2-D2 and C-3PO decorated like Batman and Robin. So just crazy things like that. And there was also, what does it say on his table? There were things like an Optimus Prime / Thomas the Tank Engine thing. There was also, one of my favourite pieces was Loki and Thor as Elsa and Anna from Frozen. And instead of Frozen, it was called Thord. You know, siblings and one of them's got ice powers. It makes sense, you know. So you can find him on Twitter at Mr. Graham Pierce, all one word. And yeah, definitely check him out if you want to see some really funky mashups, you know. And this is the final one that caught my eye, a lady known as Creative Whale, and she does illustration, art prints, and more. It says that on the business card. Anyway, you can find her on Twitter at Creative Whales, all one word. And what caught my eye were these greetings cards that she's done. And they're all of dinosaurs, really, really cute dinosaurs. They're absolutely adorable. And, you know, the Velociraptor wishing you a happy birthday, or somehow Velociraptors are in at the moment. I don't know why. Maybe because of Blue Delta Echo Charlie? Anyway, and there are all sorts of really adorable cats illustrations as well, you know, cat cutouts. Basically, she was described as, you know, if you like dinosaurs and cats, this is your jam, and it definitely was my jam. I absolutely loved what I saw, and yeah, so I would say give Creative Whale a look as well. So there you go, a few free art promos from the Fandomain. Now then, coming up in a few minutes will be the interview with Nathalie Cox, but first we're going to go to a break, and as a special treat for you dear listeners, we're going to have 2 songs this time, both hits featured in Doctor Who. We're going to start with Tainted Love by Soft Cell, as featured in Doctor Who Series 1 episode The End of the World, and then we'll have Starman by David Bowie, as featured in Doctor Who Series 1 episode Aliens of London. So, we'll be back shortly. Now we're going to go straight to the interview conducted at Preston Comic Con with Juno Eclipse herself, Nathalie Cox. Hello from the studio. This is the Fandomain on tour at Preston Comic Con 2015. I'm with the actress and model, Nathalie Cox. Nathalie, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
Now, For those of you who may not know, can you elaborate a little bit?
Yep, I'm Nathalie Cox. Like you said, I'm an actress and a model. The sort of thing that people know me for the most, I think, is I play Juno Eclipse in the computer game Star Wars: The Force Unleashed. But I've done all sorts of modelling as well, and you've probably seen me on the telly advertising some kind of yogurt product or something like that. And I've done film and TV. I've done Midsummer Murders, Holby City, Casualty, that kind of thing. So
I've seen that Midsummer Murders episode you're in.
I loved Midsummer Murders. It was awesome. Yeah, very fun.
And I did actually happen to catch it after I met you last year at Burnley, the Star Wars Fan Fun Day.
Yeah.
So I was just watching the TV all the time going,
I know.
Yeah, and now, of course, as it's the Fandomain, the most obvious thing to talk about is The Force Unleashed. So would you say there's a bit of a legacy that's been from The Force Unleashed and how it's influenced Star Wars from then on?
Well, I mean, when we made the game, it was very much, it filled in that gap between episodes 3 and 4, and they wrote it as a standalone story, but also one that sort of incorporated the whole of the Star Wars universe, So, I mean, it was awesome to be working on something like that, but so it's a tricky one because now, of course, Disney came along, and so technically we're not canon anymore, but I think that it has left a legacy. I think so many people enjoyed the game and enjoyed the story that it will never go away.
Myself included.
Yeah, there you go. And I love it as well. So, you can't get rid of that just because Disney say it's not canon anymore. I mean, it's still out there. It's still part of the universe. We love it.
Yeah. Well, this is a thing I mentioned on one of the previous episodes of the Fandomain, is that I'm a real stickler for canon and that sort of thing, and I always get irritated with people who say this doesn't exist, this doesn't exist. Well, yeah, you can say that, but you're sort of discrediting the whole production, even whether it's canon or not, that sort of thing. So it's just how I feel about it. And but now we have Disney coming along. Now we've got excitement for The Force Awakens. Are you excited?
I'm excited. I'm very excited. I'm trying to rein it in. I'm so excited.
I'm not. Well, since, as you mentioned, there's a new canon, would you say there's a possibility for Juno Eclipse to maybe return in either live action or something like Star Wars Rebels?
Yeah, I mean, that would be the dream, wouldn't it? We'd love Juno to come back. I love her so much. She's one of my favourite characters that I've played, and I think that, yes, Disney kind of have, by declaring all of this stuff non-canon, really what they've done is just they've taken more control of the stories themselves and enabled them to have free reign to do whatever they want. But I do think that they listen to fans and they listen to what's out there already, and I think they'd be missing out if they didn't bring Starkiller back, I think, because he is such a great character, and Juno as well. I mean, I'd love for them to come back for something. I really would, but we just can but hope, really, and keep asking Father Christmas.
Yeah, and even if you are doing something, you can't talk about it anyway.
Well, there is that as well. Yeah. So, but I can honestly say, hand on my heart, that I'm not in episode 7, by the way, or that's yes. Maybe one day we can but hope.
Well, of course, it's not just the big Star Wars films, like the tempo films, as it were. There's now the new anthology films, like Gareth Edwards' Star Wars Rogue One. That's happening at a similar time that The Force Unleashed took place, I think, like 8 years before or something. No, I can't remember. But it's happening in between 3 and 4, so that time frame. Same with Rebels. They're definitely making sure all the new stuff that they're creating has got this overarching connection. And
there's scope for so much that we can just, we just have to sort of sit there and see what they're going to come up with next, and hope that it's good.
Well, and I've got confidence in Gareth Edwards personally. So, but and now I have to ask, because of course we're broadcasting on Bradford BCB. I have to ask, even if there isn't a con going on like Leeds or anything, would you be up for visiting Bradford sooner or later in the future?
Oh, I'd love to come up to Bradford. Never been. I think it would be a lovely place to come and see. It's work, unfortunately. It's fitting them in. I don't do very many conventions because I am so busy with everything else, with modelling and acting, and I do presenting as well, and I do behind the scenes stuff. So, it's kind of it's fitting stuff in around work. But I mean, hopefully, maybe next year I could get a con up in Leeds or something like that. That would be really fun to come up to. Yeah.
All right, that'd be fun. Thought Bubble happens around November time,
right,
in Leeds. So that'd be something to consider.
Watch this space.
Yes.
I will let you know. Don't worry.
Watch this. Listen to this.
Listen to this space. Yeah.
Well, I mean, of course, Bradford, UNESCO City of Film. So there may be potential for your work there anyway, in the future.
You never know.
And just switching back to cons for a sec, or the whole culture. This is just a fun question. Is there any other franchise like sci-fi fantasy that you'd like to be involved with?
God.
I always want to know this about people who are known for this, that, or the other.
Well, I mean, I'm part of the Star Wars universe, which kind of, it doesn't get much bigger than that. I think the only thing that would be as big as Star Wars is if I was, I'd like to be a Bond girl. That would be quite cool. It's not science fiction, but I would like to be a Bond girl.
Still a franchise.
Still a franchise.
Still one of my favourites.
Or a Disney princess. That would be always quite nice as well. I don't know, what would I like to do? I'd love to do some kind of like Marvel, film or TV show or something like that. That would be awesome, because I love all the science fiction stuff. So anything that would be like that would be great. If you're out there listening and you happen to be casting for anything, I'm available. Call my agent. So I don't know. I mean, it would be fun. It would be fun to do something like Wonder Woman or something like that. Would be great.
I can definitely see that. And on the Marvel side of things, they will be casting for Captain Marvel soon. So Carol Danvers.
You never know. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, any kind of Star Wars-y thing, any Star Wars or science fiction. Star Wars would be awesome. I'd love to, come back as Juno and do something else with Star Wars. But yeah, I love science fiction. I love that whole genre and everything. So anything like that would be great.
Wonderful. Now, you jokingly mentioned Call My Agent. If anyone's interested, in you, where can we find you?
Where can you find me? I'm on Twitter. It's Nathalie C. Cox, and Nathalie spelled with an H. So it's Nathalie CCOX. I'm on Facebook, and I just started Instagram as well. So I'm on 3 social media sites at the moment, which is great. I'm loving Instagram. It's quite funny to put little random pictures up and stuff like that. So I'm around, and you can find me on Facebook. It's my normal headshot kind of thing, my acting headshot. So yeah, definitely friend me.
Definitely. Subtle promotion there.
Yes, thank you very much.
Well, Nathalie Cox at Preston Comic Con 2015. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we're back at the studio. So, in terms of what's coming up, next episode of the Fandomain will be the best of British based with Mr. Paul Coleman, self-described connoisseur of comics and other film and TV media. And after that will be the time travel episode. We'll be enthusing about talking about Back to the Future, and in particular for October 21st. And then after that will be the episode that came from my Bradford College radio unit. Hopefully for the December episode, my nearest and dearest Kristin will be back. We'll be back to talk everything, absolutely everything Star Wars, in anticipation for The Force Awakens. So that's your schedule for the rest of the year. Can't believe it's near that time already. So without further ado, I will say thank you for listening, and many thank yous for Nathalie Cox for agreeing to do the interview with me. And until next time, may the Force be with you.
You have been listening to The Fandomain. Your host has been Adam Medalinsky. We hope you can throw sci-fi at the wall with us too. Next time you tune into The Fandomain on BCB Radio 106.6 FM. Tune in to Bradford.